I'm delighted to have this conversation with Rucha. My relationship with Rucha started when she was a client of mine in Albertson. Someone we used to fear a little bit, but also deeply admire from far. Over a period of time, we have gotten closer and we are now working for the same group. And I think she's somebody who has my back as well. And thank you so much, Rucha, for being here and becoming part of the CXXO family. Really, really honored to have you here.
Really glad to be here. Thank you so much.
I think your mic is working.
I think so, right?
Yeah, okay, great. So Rucha, I want to hear a little bit about your story, that how did a girl from Surat go on to US, work with companies like Motorola, Albertson, and now back in India with the Mahindra Group. So tell us about your journey.
Very glad to be here. Thanks for having me. I think what a wonderful event. Congratulations to Vani and everybody at TAI as well. I think I want to write up as make me a permanent member kind of note to Vani. Story, I'm from Surat. I'm an engineer, electronics and communications engineer. And honestly, I think Anna inspired me to be really honest. So I'll say that by process of elimination, I became an engineer. couldn't really deal with medical, do the dissections and all that. Had some funny stories around that, the trauma from it. And I said, okay, engineering it is. I think I can manage. But honestly, in third year or maybe final year, took a computer class, took a software engineering class, and I absolutely fell for it. Have never looked back. That's how this whole love affair started. And I've been a techie at heart. I still am. It has given me a lot of opportunities, including what she just mentioned, right? I've worked in different countries and in different industries, very different. You heard Motorola, Albertsons. Now I work in Mahindra, which is 20 industries and so on. But I think what shapes you is always not just the career, right? What the journeys are made out of different things, and there was a lot of chat about resilience. We were talking about it on the mentorship table, and that I've learned from my mother, a single parent, truly determined, and I saw her career and managing home and career and kids, and that has taught me a lot. That's where my fierce backup for women comes from, just absolutely all entrepreneurs or startups, any woman in a working place, I'm a staunch supporter. I think also your mentors, your bosses who have had faith in you when you haven't had faith in you, those help a lot as well. So whoever has this opportunity to help others in your journey, I highly encourage people to do so. When people are not going through a good time, I have been through, we all have in our lives. And that sort of shapes you, and the people who surround you will contribute to your journey. So I think my journey is still going, enjoying my time at Mahindra and very glad to have these opportunities. But I'm an engineer at heart, still love technology, don't get a lot of time to do programming. Vibe coding is awesome because that really helps you do it fast even when you have a little bit of time. But sort of that's what brings me here.
Great, that's fantastic, Rucha. So we've been talking about, you can't open your phone without seeing something on AI or something, right? But we know that technology journey, starting with digital, cloud, you've seen some massive adoption of technologies in the enterprise world, right? And I think it might be very interesting for the audience here, but what does it take for a large enterprise to actually make technology happen? Not POCs, but those large transformation projects. What does it take for it to happen?
I think any transformation, it takes a lot of effort that's given, whether we do our personal transformation or enterprise transformation. Few things that I have learned over time. One is gather believers in your cause. And this is probably true anywhere in life, I think. But we have to have the right executive sponsorship who are going to believe in what the technology can do. I have been working for a while, so I have been in places where technology used to be a cost under CFO's cost sheet, below the top line. We were a cost line in a CFO's sheet. From there to becoming an enabler and now business. Technology is the business. So this realization, this cultural shift, this mind shift has happened in a lot of places. If it has not happened, I think as technologists, we are making it happen. So the right sponsorship is very important. Never take your eyes off of the fact that at the end of the day, whatever it is, people have to adopt it and adapt to it. So always make it human-centric. Why am I going to do what you're asking? If it is a win-win situation, I'm going to do it, right? So that's why I'm saying always find, and you can't reach, I mean, because we are talking about enterprises, I want to bring out the scale of it. If I'm driving a project and I have done it and I still do it, where thousands of people are going to get to do, they have to do something differently. They have to go through some change management. They have to adopt and adapt something new. That's why I'm saying find your change champions. Because I can't possibly, go to 10,000 people personally and say this with this great passion of why this is going to be good for you. So I think that is extremely important. One other thing that I am seeing, which is so important, and probably all of you will realize this, is that the line between the business and technology as such is blurring nicely. I think it's the best time to be in technology. Especially in Mahindra, what we have been doing is we have made sure that our executives and CEOs, I don't mean just, technology people, CTOs, CIOs, no. CEOs are immersed, go through regular immersion of whether it is AI or digital transformation or what other, is blockchain something that interests you, whatever it is. And I think that is making a huge difference, huge difference. What I remember 10 years ago, trying to justify the cost and the investments that you have to make, the conversation is so different now. You still have to do it. And I don't think it is just about technology, at least for us. Any initiatives that you want investment for has to go through certain threshold of, where you are going to move the needle. But I don't believe I have to tell somebody that, no, you should do some technology interventions. I think there is more pull than push, which is a great place to be. But never forget, at the end of the day, humans have to come into picture and adopt your technology.
That's great. Rucha, I just want to push that discussion a little bit further, right? So, at least in my experience, I've seen the fundamental differences also in an enterprise. You have to look at the entire process and the entire function, right? Yes. And I think the greatest disservice that we are doing to AI is this POC. I mean, if I can say bloody POCs, right? So, because POCs are so narrow, they can never give you the ROI that you want. And, just one example is I was working with a retailer in US where we replaced the entire pricing function with an AI platform. So, talk us a little bit about process and the wide application of a technology as opposed to these narrow use cases that we seem to be discussing in every forum.
Yeah. A great point. Actually, I would flip it a little bit also. You were saying like you can't show ROI. I would say if it is a very, very controlled, narrow ROI, I'll show you 500% ROI. Can you scale it? If it has worked on one line in one plant, and then I'll say, okay, great numbers. Can I do that in every plant, in 26 of my manufacturing plants, on every line, and will it actually deliver the same impact? So it is extremely important. I think in enterprise, at that scale, the processes, the variation of it, the standardization of it, your ecosystem of your legacy fabric that exists today are extremely important. Extremely important. So it's a marathon that feels like a sprint. That's how it goes, because for it to actually make an impact where it will penetrate the whole ecosystem and the human system, it is something that takes time. It takes grit. It takes perseverance with people, with process, with technology. And I agree. I think somebody earlier said technology is never the problem. It works. It does. It's the other two which have to work in tandem. You know, oldest thing in IT, we've heard people, process, technology. Still really, really true, right, in every aspect. You have to bring these together when you are trying to do this at scale. If I can add, because there are so many startups here, what you guys bring into picture is the agility and leanness that you have. When you talk with enterprises, we have to deal with all of this. The process has to work end to end, it has to fit into the entire legacy ecosystem. That's when I'll really get an ROI. I can't just look at one function, and if it is not integrated, it's not embedded with the whole thing, it will not deliver the value. When the startups come and talk to us, right, they are very, very agile, very lean, fast. You don't have to deal with the corporate navigation of sorts that we all have to. So I think that is such an advantage. And I think now in India, talent. You are able to attract amazing, amazing talent. Take full advantage of it when you are coming and talking to enterprises.
How many of you here are building something around AI? Can I just see a show of hands? Okay, that's great. Yeah, so maybe some words of wisdom if you're trying to sell to Mahindra or any other large group within India. Rucha, coming a little bit to the sovereignty question, right? I mean, we come from a quintessential Indian business house, and you know, we obviously want to support sovereignty. So any thoughts on that from a platform perspective, data perspective?
Absolutely. I think we have to start owning our tech, I believe, in India. I mean, we are, I was just for this, I was looking up some data, and we are the second largest internet user base in the world. China's first, we are close second. We are the largest mobile data consumers. The fact that we consume so much data means we produced a lot of data also. Now, a lot of this enterprise data and the structured data and even unstructured data that we are generating, you know, all my Facebook posts and all things on Instagram and whatever, it is not here. And what are your AI applications based on? Any AI, other than just I'm having fun and I'm going to do my menu planning on ChatGPT and something like that, it's based on your data. It has to be so contextual for my data, especially things that are truly going to deliver ROI and are going to be enterprise scale, are grounded in data. Our data is not here. Right now, most of our data is not sitting in India. If we are in a place where our talent is trusted by the world, right? We get these reports every few days of how many CEOs in US or wherever are of Indian origin. Trusted technology partners, right? Of course, for business as well, but tech, we have so many people around the world. We have to get our youth that is coming up also skilled, big time. I see a lot of these happening. We are leading in governance. I think somebody was just talking about METI. I think Niti Aayog, CII, NASSCOM. We are leading the conversation in governance. These are all the enablers that are setting us up to be successful. We really now have to own our data, own our infrastructure, because we know scale. I think anything, honestly, if you can make it work in India properly, it will work anywhere, right? Our UPI is an amazing example. DigiYatra was being quoted, such a fantastic way. You know, when I now go to US or anywhere else, I'm like, I'll have to stand in line here. So you know, you are so used to these great applications. Why? So these are our rights to win, right? Why we need it is also equally important. We are a country of 30 regulated, 30 acknowledged languages, 1,600 plus dialects. If we really want to talk about making this available for everybody in our nation, then it has to be built for us. It has to be voice first, vernacular enabled, dialects understood. That is when you'll really bring the whole ecosystem together. And it is, the India AI mission that was also mentioned, I think, make AI in India, make AI work for India. We will be able to do it with the rights to win that I talked about, right? But we have to lead the governance conversation, which we are. We have to continue to push on our talent conversation, which is already known over the world, right? And the diversity that we have in our country, we are sort of natural collaborators, I feel. Whatever we think of as products is usually pretty adaptable by everybody. I was actually talking to one of the startups and they said, in India, it is so hard to count ROI because, people don't pay us and whatnot. But if I go and sell the same thing to somebody in US, I can very easily show 150K ROI, whatever, which is so true. And it's not a very old startup. It's pretty new. Which means whatever you thought you were going to make big in India, but you are able to do it anywhere. So I think we have so much going for it, and we have absolutely the reason for it. To bring the entire, culture, ecosystem up and take charge. And this is ubiquitous, right? I think goes without saying that we can't imagine a world now in a couple of years where there'll be nobody who doesn't use AI.
So, Rucha, some quick one. If you were to give maybe a couple of ideas of where one should build a startup, I might take some as well, but any quick ideas of where do you see a white space? Just a quick answer.
Yeah. So I just talked about governance, and right, India is leading the conversations of responsible AI. I see as the governance and the regulations are catching up, it'll naturally create a white space. What to do to make sure this kind of governance is there. Another thing is, I think, cybersecurity. The better the technology gets, the better the attackers get, the better the defenders have to be. So it's a thing that will continuously evolve. The other thing, since I'm talking from enterprise perspective, large enterprises have many systems that have evolved over years. It creates these white spaces where legacy doesn't talk to the new thing. Your data is segregated. I think there's still a lot of work that can be done to stitch the fabric together. There are some really good ones that I'm seeing, but I think there's still a lot of work to do. Another thing is, I very firmly believe that very effective applications have to be contextual. And when I say contextual, data for sure, if you're talking about AI, but sectoral and vertical industrial, right? Something that you're talking about, fintech, why do we say fintech and not manufacturing tech? It has to be that. A safety that is the concept of it for manufacturing is extremely important. So these vertical ones, there is a lot of application that is still quite open.
Okay, hopefully you guys got some ideas.
And sorry, India specific, goes without saying, right? Just go after anything that understands every language, it really gets good at voice, and I know a lot of startups are doing that, but I think there's still a lot that can be done.
Sure. Any tech company which has excited you? Any name, just the name?
It changes every day, honest to God, but because how fast everything comes, I was just, looking at Atlas, which is pretty good. I actually excitedly track people who are doing something for India. So Sarvam is one.
Okay.
Techem actually are in this,
Sure.
what we are doing for that. So those are the ones I sort of consistently, they keep my excitement going.
Great. Last question, Rucha, before we run out of time. Tell us some interesting way you've used AI or LLM in your personal life, and any favorite LLM.
I think favorite remains Notebook LLM.
Notebook LLM, okay.
Yeah. I think this effectively helps me use my drive time. I live in Mumbai.
Okay.
The traffic, really. So I'm one of those people, rather than reading, listening is I absorb more. So I use notebook
Any
LLM.
fun uses?
Sorry?
Any fun uses? Something you've used?
I don't know. As I said, one of the things which is on my mentoring table, somebody was saying that I'm a woman and I'm the one who gets asked, what is it? Even if I have a maid, she's going to come and ask me, what should I cook tomorrow? What's the menu for tomorrow? So I think I've tried to outsource that.
That's
To see if I can, have an agent who that'll say every 2 days send something to the maid.
great.
I'm trying.
Thank you, Rucha. Thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us today.